Day 24. The countdown begins, guys, to your 30-day selfie. Today is all about eating organic. I talk a lot throughout the whole 30 days about checking what's in your products, about making the right choices when you can. And that's not about being boring and living 100% clean life because, we go out at weekends, we have pizzas, champagne. In my case, I love a whiskey. You can't always be clean. So it's always about balance. But one thing that I've talked about in my podcast, Living Life Well, also within my supplements and kind of my lifestyle day to day, is when I can, I will always choose to eat organic produce. And this isn't because of me being a food snob or anything like that, because I know a lot of the time some people are like, well, what's the difference between organic to kind of normal food? And if we think and kind of take a step back to, 100 years ago, to our great-great-grandparents, food was delivered pretty much fresh from the milkman in the morning. He'd come with your milk, he'd come with your butter, he'd come with your cheese. And you would just basically kind of have the food for the week. The meat would go into a store like a larder. Sometimes it was wrapped and preserved in salts and string. Our food nowadays, because of the amount of people that there are in the world and the demand and the variety of foods, there's so many different things now compared to what there was 100 years ago. It has to have chemicals, it has to have preservatives, to manufacture, corn, flour, so many things that we have as a day-to-day kind of go-to. There is such more of a demand, so they have to use chemicals to either, give the food the growth to get it into production a lot quicker, because farmers are having to churn a lot more food compared to what they were having to 100, 200 years ago. I touched upon it with an incredible lady, a lady called Barbara Cox, in my podcast, all about organic farming. And what we don't realise is when we go and eat organic produce versus non-organic, if you, let's say, you go and buy an apple, and let's say this is non-organic, how many of you really give this a good wash? Some of you might wash it under the tap for all of 5 seconds, but that doesn't remove the chemicals. And these chemicals are not designed to go into the body, not on a regular day-to-day basis. This is when you can get issues with the skin, you can get issues with your bowel habits, general mood and well-being. Hidden chemicals like MSGs, the amount of foods that are, that are for children alone that have hidden sweeteners, colorings, MSGs, and all of this can play havoc with their mood, hyper. How many of you have gone to a children's party, and had the cake, and then all of a sudden the kids are just going absolutely wild? And this just comes down obviously to chemicals, and that is no different with the food as adults that we eat on a day-to-day basis. So when you look at meat, chicken, if you were to go and buy, a beautiful organic breast from the butchers versus a normal piece of chicken, you put them in the oven, you make the same dish, you're going to find one of them's going to contain a lot of water and it's going to shrink, where the organic one would stay quite plump and quite juicy and, and quite beautiful, compared to the other one. Eating chemicals has a knock-on effect, as I've said. They're not something that just flushes out day to day. You do have to do a lot of removal of toxins. So for people, when they're coming in to see me, or they've got issues with their hair and their skin, we do tests on them, and sometimes they're quite acidic, or they've just got a lot of chemicals and it's not agreeing with them. We would do things like apple cider vinegar, and a lot of you are probably thinking, oh my god, that's disgusting, but to have a shot of this daily, either with lukewarm water, or if you're brave, a shot on its own, is incredible, and it really does help kind of flush out toxins and stuff as well. Also, I will kind of touch upon it in one of the days on day 27, which is all about clean eating, where it's all about kind of setting yourself up for the day. And how many of us, if we go and eat a chocolate croissant in the morning and a skinny latte frappuccino or whatever it is, how many things do you then crave later on in that day that aren't clean, aren't pure, aren't organic? You're more likely to go and have a sandwich and a pack of crisps, or you might crave pizza in the evening or takeaway. And it's all about how you kind of set up your day to day. So when you are looking at foods, it's really important to choose organic food, not just because, you're picking a better food in the sense that you feel because it's more expensive. It's because of how it affects your body day to day, the buildup of the chemicals, the waste, how all of these things kind of expel into the body, and I talked about it at the very, very beginning of the 30 days about how our skin is our protection cloak, and our skin protects things from coming within, but also when you're consuming foods and drinks, everything sits in your gut, which I say it's the mothership. If it's not being flushed out, you're not drinking enough water, you're not taking supplements and vitamins, and you're not having a balanced diet, all of these things can kind of leak into the body. And this is where you can have issues with your immune system, with skin, with hair, and general mood and well-being. If you want to know more, the best way to kind of learn a lot more about organic and healthy eating is definitely check out my podcast, because it was a really great episode with Barbara, and one that I could have kind of talked for 3-4 hours with her, because she grew up in New Zealand. She's a big advocate for food and eating the rainbow and making the right choices whilst also being a little bit naughty when you can. So guys, read the blog below. It's really important to look at your foods, look what's on them. If you can't afford to do everything organic, let's say you eat chicken 4 times a week, well then make that your choice to be organic, because you will notice a huge difference. And then in time, if you're able to kind of buy other products that are organic, start to go over to them as well, because it will start to make a huge difference and you'll feel a lot better within yourselves. So guys, read below. Have a great day today, and I will obviously see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to hashtag 30dayskin. Take your selfies. If you still haven't taken advantage of the promo, why not? You're missing out. If you enter in 30 Days Skin, you get £10 off the Skin Quencher, which is multi-award winning. It's amazing. I take it every day, and it's something that I just obviously can't live without. So guys, have a great day, and I will catch up with you tomorrow. Lots of love, guys. Bye.